Okay, we're going to start. Can I have a poster and a seconder to resume the standing orders by APF Portugal, seconded by ASEP Algeria? Huh. Those against? Standing orders are resumed, carried unanimously. We have a point of information by IPSF EXCO. Next motion, please. Yeah, please, Kishan. We're going to see motion 83. This is 68 IPSF General Assembly amends the Article 5.6 of the IPSF Domestic Rules. The duties of the Secretary of the Regional Office shall be 5.62. The duties of the Secretary. 5.62. What? It's why, right? To review the reports of the subcommittee of I, yeah. To review the reports of the subcommittee of the regional office prior to their addition to the agenda of the regional assembly. This will include, but is not limited to, ensuring that all documents are formatted according to the official IPSF format, checking that all documents are English, and that there and that there I, and that and they are right, and there are no minor and that and the, yeah, I see, yeah. There are no major grammatical or structural errors in the document. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed. We have a point of information by IPSF EXCO.
Kishan, IPSF EXCO. Hi everyone. So, in case you can't read it on the screen, this motion is in the GA folder. Please refer to the folder. And I would just like to say that we usually when motions are being raised by the regional assemblies, in this case the Pan American Regional Assembly, the motivation usually is given by the chairperson of the region. However, we cannot reach Hugo, the current chairperson of PARO, at the moment, but we do have an RWG member here. It is her decision whether or not she wants to represent the region and to answer questions on the region's behalf. But we can still open the floor for discussion to discuss, and yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Maria, are you okay with that? Okay. You have 3 minutes for the motivation, please.
Okay, Maria Maria APHASP. So I had the opportunity to handle the parliamentary system, so I can tell you some of the background of this motion. When the ODs,
Louder, Maria, please.
no, can you hear me now? Oh, you can hear me. You can hear me now. Okay. So as I was saying, I had the opportunity of handling the parliamentary system during the regional assembly, so I can give you some background on this motion. While reviewing the reports of the different subcommittees, some of the official delegates noticed that there were some glaring grammatical errors in the reports that ended up like consuming a big portion of the discussion time during the review of the reports. So essentially, the purpose of this motion is to clarify that hello, okay, to clarify that the secretary should be. So the purpose of this motion is essentially to clarify the duties of the secretary to ensure that the reports are properly formatted and free of any like glaring errors. Thank you.
Thank you for the motivation. Now the floor is open for discussion. Seeing no new comments. Oh, we have 1 point by BPSA.
Daniel. Oh, Daniel. Is it working? Daniel? Can anyone hear me? Yeah. Okay. Daniel, BPSA UK, an incoming IPSF Euro Secretary. Thank you very much for your point here. So just to clarify, is this suggesting that it's the role of the secretary to read through every single person's report, check for spelling, and if there are any typos, that responsibility completely lies on the secretary? Can I just get clarification firstly on that? Thank you.
Maria, please. Oh. APHA.
Grant Smith, APHASP USA. As one of the official delegates in the regional symposium, I think this was written as the ultimate responsibility of the secretary, but the regional symposium was hoping that the secretary would be able to delegate some of these tasks to their subcommittee in the process.
Thank you. Point of information by IPSF Exco.
Christian IPSF Exco, this change that they're mandating to the domestic rules is to add an additional responsibility to this role of the regional secretary. And I would like to add that this will affect all 5 regional secretaries. Thank you.
Any new comment? KNPSB?
Franca, KPSV Netherlands, maybe it was more of clarification, but is it not possible to propose this motion for the regions that need this? Thank you.
Point of information by IPSF Exco.
Christian IPSF Exco, the roles of the regional secretary and the regional working group as a whole, it is not generalized is not the right word. It is standardized for all the regions because all the regions in terms of their functions and the work that they do are equal. So unfortunately, we cannot specify what each and every different region's secretary is supposed to do because by the official documents, they all are supposed to work in the same capacity. No region is supposed to be over or under the other region or supposed to do more work or less work than another region. Thank you.
Thank you, Kishan. BPSA?
Daniel, BPSA UK. I'm sort of conflicted on this. Oh, we're conflicted on this motion. So in one hand, we understand the role of the secretary is to make sure that everybody on the team is working in an organised fashion and submitting reports on time. However, on the other hand, if somebody's submitting a report, it is their own individual responsibility to make sure that the content and the spelling is correct. We understand the role of the secretary should be there to support people. However, if it's mandated that the secretary has to read through every single report checking for spelling and grammar, of course they've got workload in regards to the preparation for the regional assembly. As it is, we feel like the liability on this would come to the secretary when, of course, they didn't write the report. I think it's appropriate if people struggle with English that they should come to the secretary for support, but mandating them.
It's 1 minute. Sorry. We have a diary by AFOP.
Annika AFEP Austria. We believe it's in Euro at least already working practice that the reports are checked because we believe someone from one of the subcommittees of Europe had big problems with the formatting and it was changed for the person by the secretary. Thank you.
Can we move to the new comments, please? Thank you, AFOP. Any new comment? Seeing no new comments, I close the floor for discussion on this motion. Thank you, Maria, for the motivation, and we are going to move to the voting procedure. Those who are against this motion, against this motion, we have against. Okay. Thank you. Those who are for this motion, thank you. Abstentions? We do not have the 31 votes. We are the motion is carried. Next, motion 84. DC68 IPSF General Assembly mandates that a website working group be created. This motion shall achieve the following. An IPSF working be created by the chairperson of Media and Publication to address the concerns of the IPSF website. The chairperson of Media and Publication shall preside over all working group proceedings. The working group shall consist of all RMPOs, or the RMPO can select a representative from their RMPO subcommittee. The chairperson of Media and Publications and the Information Technology Manager. The working group shall last 1 year and accomplish the following goals. A. Evaluate the proper course of action regarding the current website issues. B. Recommend a course of action to the chairperson of Media and Publications. C. Create a plan to prevent future website issues from occurring. D. If a course of action cannot be acted upon within the 1 year term, the committee shall present the possible courses of actions to the 69th IPSF General Assembly. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall be reviewed by the 69th IPSF General Assembly. Maria? You have 3 minutes for the motivation, please.
Okay, thank you. So, similar to what we've discussed here, one of the issues that was brought up during the regional assembly was that the website, the Paro website, and we noticed a couple other websites were non-functional. And the regional assembly saw this as a major barrier to accessibility, to making sure that our members have the most up-to-date information, have information about projects and events. So the regional assembly sees the website issue as a very pressing issue. I think we've discussed a lot of the issues with the website, but we're open for discussion. Thank you.
Now the now the floor is open for discussion. Yeah. IPSF Exco.
Kishan, IPSF Exco, thank you so much, and to the Pan American Regional Assembly. Now, I just would like to ask a question: whether does this only apply to the main IPSF website or the other regional websites as well? Because the motion only talks about the IPSF website, which is from what we understand means the global IPSF website, ipsf.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Kishan. Maria, please.
So the idea is, to clarify, it would apply to the IPSF website and the regions, since we were specifically having issues with some of the regional websites.
Dropped. Procedural from APHA. Can I have another mic, please?
Grant Smith, APHASV, USA. I move to discuss this motion at the online assembly in September.
Point of order by IPSF Exco.
Kishan, IPSF Exco, this is just a technical thing. You need to mention specifically that you move to table this motion for the online session of the GA. So can you please repeat your procedural? Thank you.
I move to table this discussion for the online GA.
Seconded by AFO Austria. Moving to voting procedure. Those who are against, I will say the procedural motion first, then the voting procedure. The procedural motion is to table motion 84 to the online session of the General Assembly. Those who are against this motion, we have one against. Okay. Thank you. Those for? Okay, motion is carried. This motion will be discussed in the online GA. Can we have next motion? Point of information by BPSA.
Daniel, BPSA UK. Can I assess the floor if we need an energizer? I feel like it's quite late and everyone's slightly low on energy. 3 minutes, just something to boost the energy of the room. But I would like to assess the floor. Thank you. energizer.
Oh, and then point of order by IPSF Exco.
Kishan IPSF Exco, I do not understand what an energizer means, and while I would like to agree to that, I just want to inform everyone that we only have 4 motions left to discuss this evening. I don't see any other agenda that's being added. Every other motion that has been presented or any motion that has been tabled will be discussed during the online GA. And if we were to do any activity that is not part of the GA, we have to suspend standing orders. Thank you.
Directed by AFOP.
We believe an energizer would be like a dance all together or something.
Point of order by IPSF Exco.
Again, I'm saying, Kishan IPSF Exco, again, I'm saying that any activity that we do that is not normal GA proceedings have to be done when we suspend the standing orders. But I just want to say we only have 4 motions left. Not that I want this to go very quickly. I want it to be, we want it to be discussed properly, but we are almost done. So please, everyone, thank you.
Motion 85. This the 68 IPSF General Assembly mandates the IPSF Executive Committee to implement an agenda. What happened? To implement an agenda point during each IPSF General Assembly where an IPSF declaration priority list is discussed, devised, and then voted upon by official delegates. The declarations written by EXCO based on this priority list should then be released by the Federation during the following mandate. To reflect this, the IPSF standing orders shall be amended to include discussion and creation of a declaration priority list within Article 3.6 in a position deemed fitting by IPSF Executive Committee. This motion shall be achieved by continuously and shall not be reviewed. Can I have the proposer and the seconder here to present the motivation? You can say there. Can I have another microphone, please?
Daniel, Daniel BPSA UK. Dear General Assembly, today we propose the motion on the screen because we believe that this will provide official delegates and MOs with a powerful voice to shape the advocacy work of the Federation and ensure that it's inclusive and representative of all MOs from all parts of the world. So what is a declaration? A declaration is an official statement written which educates the reader on a problem and provides action points on how the Federation will work to tackle this problem whilst advocating for others to support. For context on how declarations are written currently, EXCO members write declarations based on pressing issues that they as a team deem to affect IPSF members. These are not written too frequently and even more rarely published for our members to see. This motion aims to ensure the process of IPSF declaration writing is guided by the needs of the various IPSF MOs, to ensure everyone's voices are heard and considered when drafting IPSF declarations. In practice, if passed, this motion would impose that there's an agenda point during the GA where ODs freely discuss global matters that they feel affect IPSF members and the greater public. Once this list is devised, MOs would then vote for or against whether they deem the topic a priority declaration topic, and then votes get counted. Based on these results, this will formulate a declaration priority list, which will be passed on to EXCO to utilise during their mandate when writing declarations. To conclude, we're passionate that this motion if this motion gets passed, we think that this will give a massive platform to ODs to influence the pharmacy profession and help affect positive change to our members and the wider public. Thank you.
Thank you, PSA, for the motivation. Can we have the parliamentary assistant back, please? There are like 30 seconds left. You want to please, Czech Republic. Yeah.
Dear, dear, okay. Dominika Sizet, PSA Czech Republic. Dear General Assembly, we do believe that the PH chairperson should have the strongest voice in these matters. Therefore, we would like to highly encourage not only the official delegates, but also the previously mentioned chairperson of Public Health, the whole PH committee and executive committee of the MEX mandates to propose the idea to the General Assembly during the newly implemented agenda point. We would also like to emphasize that the declaration priority list serves as a guide and following its exact order is not mandated, especially if any other crucial public health topic arises during the year. The executive.
Thank you, Czech Republic. Now the floor is open for discussion on this motion. After the wave. Seeing no new comments, I close the floor for discussion. Clarification by LPSA.
Maria, test. Maria LPSA Lebanon, may you clarify more about the PSA Lebanon? Can you clarify more about the declaration? What does it include? Thank you.
Thank you, LPSA. Please, BPSA.
Daniel, BPSA UK. So what does the declaration do? So essentially it's a one-page document usually, but it can be a bit more, but it's usually quite short. And they'll be presenting a problem, so a global health issue, for example, and then coming up, can you not understand? Yeah? So presenting a global health issue, what is the problem, and what action is IPSF going to take to tackle this? I hope that answers your question for what a declaration is.
Thank you, BPSA. LPSA, it's okay? Thank you. Any new comment? Again, PSB?
Maybe in the Netherlands. But if I'm understanding it correctly, then it's gonna be look like a bit of our policy statements, right? And we
BPS
already have them.
BPSA?
Daniel, BPSA UK. So thank you for your question. So to clarify with the policies, we write one global policy and one regional policy. So limit to the number. So of course, throughout the year, and our MOs will have many pressing issues. So this means that there'll be a list of all of those, so that we're not limited to just one policy and one, because you can write many declarations. So that would be like the difference. So it would be similar to policy. Policy, as earlier, was creating an advocacy toolkit, for example, but with a declaration, it's a piece of writing and an action or multiple actions for what we can do to as a federation. But there's no limit on how many we can write throughout the year. Thank you.
Thank you, BPSA. We have a point of information by IPSF Exco.
In Shenzhen, CHPPH. So, declaration and policies, policy document. There are two different things. The policy document includes the action points. Declaration is the stance of the federation. So essentially, there are two different type of documents. I hope that answers your question.
Next on the list, AFOP.
Annika AFAB Austria, would these Annika AFAB Austria, would those declarations be approved by CPs, or would they just be published by IPSF without CPs reviewing them? Thank you.
BPSA.
Daniel, BPSA UK. So as it happens right now, they're not reviewed, so motion, they wouldn't necessarily be reviewed. For topics discussed in GA, the minutes from the motivations can be writing it, so you would have an opportunity to discuss it in the GA, but the actual declarations currently are not approved by us and it wouldn't be approved. But this does give us on what they're writing about. But yeah, there would be no change in that respect. Enhance our voices on what kind of work, and then they can also write them in line with our official documents and working with their subcommittees. But it would be like the ideas that would come from us rather than the specifics of the wording, because as mentioned earlier, there could be multiple declarations written in a year, and that might increase CP workload. But yeah, that answers that one.
Thank you, BPSA. Can we move to the new comments, please? You have a new direct? Okay. You have it. Can PSB?
Franka KPC Netherlands, you are talking about multiple declarations, but how many do you want them to write? Because I think all the EXCO members are really busy with their tasks, so I'm not sure if they can handle like another big task. Thank you very much.
BPSA?
Daniel, BPSA UK. As no set number, so it would be a priority list, so we would discuss all of them, and of course, naturally they would go to the first on the priority list, the one with the most votes first, but there would not be a set number. It would be as it currently is for how many they feel they could write in a year. If they feel only one, it will only be one. If they feel like they can write six, it'll be six. So it's not telling them how many to write, but shaping what things they write about and what actually matters to all of us from our own countries, our own perspectives, but also global issues as well. So no set number on how many are written. Thank you.
Thank you, BPSA. Next, we have on the list AFOP. Dropped. Thank you. APHA?
So, Maria, APHA. Maria, APHA ASP. So just share this. Okay. So just to make sure I understand your motion, the declarations or the priority list itself would come from us, from the delegates. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We have KNPSB.
Franka KP's Netherlands. I would like to ask the opinion of the EXCO about this motion, please. Thank you.
IPSF Exco. Point of information by IPSF Exco.
Kishan IPSF Exco. I'm sorry, we can't give an opinion about this, but I do have some information. From the IPSF president, other than the fact that this is similar in a way to the policy topics propositions, like we already have something like that being done, we don't have anything else to say. Thank you.
Thank you. AFOP.
Annika for Austria. We would like to ask how you would want the EXCO to handle upcoming issues throughout the year, if you would want them still to remain on the priority list, or if something with a higher priority obviously comes up, like a pandemic or something, that you want them to do a declaration on that rather than on the priority list stuff. Thank you.
BPSA.
Daniel, BPSA UK. Thing were to come up, it is to represent us globally, so they can still write declarations on pressing issues if they acted into their positions. So we do trust that they will act in accordance with our best interests. So they can write declarations on pressing issues that come up in the moment, such as the pandemic, I won't name too many things because I don't want to get into, but such as the pandemic, but they can still write those line for them to use on what are pressing issues based on the MOs. Thank you.
Thank you, BPSA. Next, we have a direct by CCPSA Czech Republic.
Dominica CZP as a Czech Republic, as mentioned before, is more like about raising awareness among the CPs, ODs, member organizations, and taking into consideration their opinion on these matters. But the public health portfolio still has the strongest voice in these matters, and they are the ones who decide. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have APHA.
Grant Smith, APHA ASP USA. I really like this proposal. I think it's a great idea. And I wanted to ask how you see going forward, like the whole logistics of the process going. So would that be something that we talk about at the very first General Assembly and then EXCO kind of talks about it and then presents it at the very end? Or what do you see kind of how that will go?
BPSA.
Daniel, BPSA UK. So in practice, it is quite similar to how Euro did our policy session in our regional assembly. It could be at any point in GA, wherever they deem it to be fit. But it would be essentially a free discussion of what topics do you feel we need a declaration on. That'd be the first point. After that, we would then vote on each topic that's discussed. Everyone would raise their voting cards. There would then be a deck of those. The ones with the most votes would be on the top of the list. The ones with the least amount of votes would be on the lower end of the list. And then that list would be devised and passed to EXCO declaration throughout the year. Thank you.
Thank you, BPSA. Any new comment? AFOP.
Annika, AFEP Austria, we really like this motion. However, we find it's not, in its wording, it's not clear enough, and it might cause confusion in a couple of years. So maybe if you would rephrase it and submit it next year again or something. We are just worried because there were so many questions about it and people not understanding it. Or maybe you can just make for me very clear that there won't be confusion in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, AFOP. BPSA.
Daniel, BPSA UK. Firstly on that, we will have the minutes from this discussion that next year's team can look on in regards to how to implement it. And then because it will become common practice, of course with IPSF continuity amongst the team, so people will know this is how it's done last year, and that will help in terms of the clarification of how it works, because a lot of other agenda points, if you just read the agenda point, you might not know exactly how the discussion's going to go, but of course the team get briefed on it beforehand. The EXCO lead the discussion, and we feel like that will ensure the clarity. Thank you.
Thank you, BPSA. Yeah. Any new comment? No. Seeing no new comments, I close the floor for the discussion on this motion. Thank you to BPSA and Czech Republic for the motivation. Next, we are going to move to voting procedure on motion 85. Those who are against this motion, we have against. 1, 2. Please, raise high your cards. Abstaining. Those who are for this motion. For motions carried. And we move to the next. Okay. Motion 15. DC68 IPSF General Assembly accepts and adopts the financial report of the chairperson of the reception committee of the 67th IPSF World Congress 2022. Omar, are you ready? Or someone? Clarification by APF.
Denise, APF, Denise APF Portugal. We'd like to ask if it's not possible to table this for September. I know I already tabled this, but I don't think it's in the right mind, and I don't think everyone had the time to see the report, and it's the financial report.
Point of information by IPSF EXCO.
Point of information, EXCO, IPSF EXCO. Yes, you can table this motion if you want to, but you need to raise a procedure. Yes, thank you. And please state your procedure clearly to which session. Thank you.
Proposed by APF Portugal, seconded by ASEP Switzerland.
Denise, APF Portugal, we would like for a procedural motion to table this, the financial report for the online GA on the 10th of September. Thank you.
Thank you. Seconder, ASEP Switzerland. Okay. The floor is open to discussion on this motion. New point. Direct. Okay. Seeing no new comment, the floor is closed for this motion and proceed to voting procedure. Those who are against this motion, carry unanimously. Clarification by ASEP Switzerland.
Yasmin Azeb, Switzerland. So we would like to know why is every year the financial report like reviewed like in the like during the same GA, because that doesn't like as a former treasurer, and I don't think this is really convenient for like the for the treasurers and the RC to have it like the same year and like during the event in itself. So can we have some clarification about this?
Point of information by IPSF ESCO.
Thank you, ASEP Switzerland, for raising that point. The reason why there is a motion to have the financial report presented, it is because we want the World Congress to produce a progress report on the intermediate, sorry, is that the correct word? Intermediate financial situation of the World Congress. So it is meant to be a progress report on the finances, not the final financial report. The final financial report will only be presented at the next GA, which is the 69th next year. I hope that's clear. Thank you.
Thank you. Next motion, please. Motion 8. This is the 68 IPSF General Assembly accepts and adopts the minutes of the 67th IPSF General Assembly. This motion shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. Point of information by IPSF EXCO.
So, Kishan IPSF Exco, I believe, and I can also confirm from Isaac, the Secretary General, that he has made all the corrections as what was raised during the previous motion, and he has tried to make all the amendments as much as possible and uploaded the corrected version of the minutes to the General Assembly folder. Thank you.
The floor is open for discussion on this motion. Seeing no new comments, I close the floor for discussion on this motion and proceed to voting. Those who are against, we have one against. Those abstaining, those for this motion. Thank you. Motion's carried. Point of information by AFOP.
Annika AFAP Austria. It's more some kind of point of order. We had the chance to check it very, very quickly in time for the votes. Our association and our ODs are still spelled wrongly. We would really, really encourage that all associations are spelled correctly in official documents. This occurs a lot to our association, and we feel a little bit less respected. Thank you.
Point of information by IPSF Exco.
Thank you, AFOP Austria, for providing that feedback, and we will take it into for our own working progress. But I also like to remind the General Assembly that the minutes of the 67th General Assembly was shared by the Secretary General few months ago via email. So this is common. This is practiced by us to share it with all CPs to be checked before the General Assembly. So this is just for future General Assemblies, just to not delay this process. Please do remind your CPs to check the document once the Secretary General has sent it out. And if the Secretary General has not sent it out, please remind the Executive Committee. This is a win-win situation. Thank you. And just an information from, just a clarification from the SecGen. Can I know which page is it? Any changes that need to be done that can be shared via email. That's why the email was sent out. So here's to the next one. Thank you. Just tell me.
So he didn't delete the old one, and we only had 1 second to check, so we checked it wrongly. But for the spelling of our association, it does appear in other documents as well. Like not the minutes, but it does appear in other documents.
So it's fixed?
It's a general thing.
So
for this, thank you very much, Isaac. We are so sorry.
No. So it's fixed? Is it fixed? It's fixed. Oh, okay. Then, all right. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Okay, we are going to move in the next point of the agenda. We have a point of information by IPSF Exco.
veteran executive. So since we arrived to the any other business point, can I please invite Gabriel from EPSA to deliver us a presentation? You can clap. RC, can we move to the presentation and put it on screen?
Hey, test. Can you guys hear me?
Gabriel, as discussed, 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, hello everyone. I've been in your place in the last 2 years, so I know how tiring it is. I'll try to be as fast as possible. Next slide, please. My name is Gabriel. I'm the current president of the European Pharmaceutical Students Association, and I'm just going to talk to you a bit about our work. Next slide. So EPSA was born in an ANEP Congress in 1978. In 2013, we moved to Brussels, where we currently have our EPSA house, and today we're representing over 100,000 students in Europe. We have 41 member associations, out of which 35 countries, which you can see here. Yes. Our mission is to bring pharma students together, and now I will show you a bit about our structure, which is similar to IPSF's. We have an executive committee, which is composed of president, secretary general, immediate past president instead of president-elect, and treasurer. And then instead of chairpersons, we have vice presidents, which are the leaders of our departments. And then we have departments for internal affairs, external relations, European affairs, education, and others. Okay, let's go. I'll do 5 minutes. I have to go a little slower. You can go to the next slide. I'll start talking about our events. We have 4 big events annually. Next slide. The annual congress and the autumn assembly is where we hold our general assemblies. The autumn assembly is usually October, November, and the annual congress in April, May, which is when we have our elections for our new team. So our team has just started their mandate. We have over 1,000 students in our events every year. Then in February, March, we usually have our autumn assembly, which is usually European Parliament, and we choose an advocacy topic that we present to members of the European Parliament and other important stakeholders. And then in the summer, we usually have university, which just happened in Switzerland. Previous slide, not next. And it's usually a smaller event for people to just hang out, have a few trainings, learn a bit about a less heavy topic, and have fun. These are our next events, previous slide, which will be in Athens, the Autumn Assembly this November, and the next one, the 44th EPSA Annual Congress in Slovenia, which our 45th anniversary as well. You can go ahead. Then we can just go through these. We have several different areas of interest. Professional affairs, where we focus on development for our students. Now we're conducting our mentoring project. Next slide, please. Then education, you can move on. We have a lot of focus on education. Next slide, please. Besides the educational program of our events, we have a focus on science with science days, science excursions being organized at our, also a student's publication that is peer reviewed so that our students can publish the abstracts of their work. Next slide, please. We also have a real developed training project, which is similar to IPSF's, although on a European level. Next slide, please. We have a big focus on lifelong learning, currently developing this platform, which will allow students to take e-courses and have access to all of the educational outcomes of our events if they are not able to attend them. Next slide, please. And then we also have a focus on advocacy, of course. Next slide. Here you can find some of the recent topics that we work on. The last one that we released is our which compiles every single position that we have done in the past 45 years. You can go ahead. And then regarding mobility, we have our Twinit project, which many of you might know. Basically, it consists on a group of students from one faculty from France, for example, exchanging for a week with a group of students from the Netherlands. And then for a week, the French students will go to the Netherlands and have an educational program and social program organized for them by the Dutch students, and then a month after, the Dutch students will go to France. It's a very famous project among our members. Next slide, please. Regarding PR, we have several publications that even if you're not a European student, you can check out. If you want to check out our monthly those, which is the QR code that is there, feel free to scan it or just Google it later. Every month we'll release some information on what happened and what will happen in EPSA. Next slide, please. And this is our social media accounts. I urge you all to go follow them and check the work. And next slide, please. These you can just pass. It's our partners. First, we will show the partners that offer us internships in order for us to keep our house in Brussels. We have interns at all these professional organizations. Then these are our professionals. You can go ahead. And our external collaborations. Next slide, please. These are our student collaborations where IPSF is, of course, included. And next slide, please. And this is us. This is our current EPSA team. It's not completed because not everyone was able to attend the summer university, but any of the students here that you can also find on social media will be able to answer all your questions. If you're a pharmaceutical student or student representative, we're obviously waiting for us for you to engage with us. If you're not, feel free to also reach out if you want to share best practices. We're always available for collaboration. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gabriel, for your presentation. We have a point of information by IPSF Exco.
Asian IPSF Exco, this constitutes as part of other businesses. So I would just like to announce that we have reached the end of the scheduled GA that we have for this World Congress. But just to remind everyone that we have a couple of motions that we have agreed to table to the next online version of the GA, online session of the GA. So we are not going to close this GA yet, but we are going to suspend the standing orders until the next session. But I guess I just want wait. We haven't suspended it yet. So I just yeah, okay. But I would just like to thank everyone for being here and getting through this entire thing. And I would also like to say that we actually finished on time. Like the schedule in the agenda is 6 p.m. and we actually finished on time. But yes, we still have a lot of work to do for the next session of the GA. So I really hope that everyone participates. And I also would like to add that only official delegates who are accredited for this GA will be able to participate and vote at the next GA. So there will be no additional voting members or full members. It will still be the same number of full members and member in associations present. But other organizations and members can participate as observers. I hope that is clear. And if you have any questions regarding the upcoming the other motions, other particulars regarding the GA, you can always approach the executive committee after this. So thank you, everyone.
LPSA.
Marianne LPSA Lebanon. First, congratulations all. It was a fruitful general assembly. I would like to know as a motion was submitted, however, it is not seen. May you clarify why is that so, please? Thank you.
IPSF Exco, point of order.
Sorry. Point of information, Kishan IPSF Exco. Because when motions are submitted to the motions committee, we have to review that motions first, and then when motions are submitted to the motions committee, they need to be reviewed by the motions committee in order for them to assess whether or not it is suitable in terms of the wording and everything, and that feedback has to be given back to the member organization. And so if it's not here yet, it's because we haven't received that feedback from the member organization. If that motion is, it does not mean we have rejected that motion unless it is the indirect contravention to the official documents. But otherwise, it is just that we haven't received the feedback yet. This is just a reminder to everyone. If you have submitted a motion but do not see it in the folder, it means that we have sent you a feedback. Please check your emails. Thank you.
Procedural motion by accept.
Valentine, ASEP Switzerland. We would like to propose a procedural motion to suspend the standing orders. Thank you.
Seconded by APF Portugal. Those who are against? Yeah. Against? No. Carried unanimously. Let's move to the roll call. Please, Kishan.
This is the final roll call for today. Until the next online session, I need to remind you guys that multiple times. ASEPA Algeria, ATEP Tunisia, delegated to ASEPA Algeria, NAPSA Australia, TTT-UPO Vietnam, delegated to NAPSA Australia, AFWAP Austria, CAPSI Canada, CCPSA Czech Republic, EPSF Egypt, IFSA Iran, delegated to EPSF Egypt, TUPS Estonia, ANAP France, BPHD Germany, GPSA Ghana, NAPSA Sierra Leone, delegated to GPSA Ghana, HUPSA Hungary, LPSA Lebanon, QFUS Qatar, delegated to LPSA Lebanon, MyPSA Malaysia, and USPS Singapore, delegated to MyPSA Malaysia, Performex Mexico, KNPHV the Netherlands, CPC Croatia, delegated to KNPHV the Netherlands, NZEPSO New Zealand, APF Portugal, FASFA Romania, delegated to APF Portugal, KNAPS Republic of Korea, APS Japan, delegated to KNAPS Republic of Korea, SHISA for the Slovenia, ASEP Switzerland, SP Slovakia, delegated to ASEP Switzerland, PSAT Thailand, TPAYC Turkey, BPSC United Kingdom, MPSC Malta, delegated to BPSC United Kingdom, APJ ASP United States, and FECO F Costa Rica, delegated to APJ ASP United States. All accounted for? Thank you, everyone. We will reconvene in September. Test. Oh, test. Okay. Announcement from the reception committee. So tonight is our gala night. So how it will go is that we will have the gala night first happening here. We have the announcement of the best CP, best SEO, and best MOs. We will have speeches. We have presentations. We'll be having our IPSF song. Once that is done, we will proceed to the disco downstairs to have our party. Is everyone clear about the schedule? Sorry? Okay, and we will also be having dinner. I mean, dinner is already open. Can I just ask the RC, what time are we starting the gala night? Here, yes? 8. Okay, we are starting the gala night here at 8. Okay, so you can proceed to go back to your rooms, get dressed up, go have your dinner, and come back at 8 o'clock for us yeah, okay.